All right, so this article, chapter 3, I shouldn't say article, chapter 3 also discusses very briefly gift giving and love. And they say gift giving and males offering food to females are courtship behaviors that are observed in other species, even fruit flies. So this is something that can be observed certainly among human beings in many, many different cultures, even among foragers. It probably reciprocity and gift giving has been involved in romantic courtship probably for as long as human beings have been human beings, but certainly very long ago before that, right? It is part of our evolutionary history. But most of our evolutionary history has been in relatively egalitarian societies, such as foragers, where there's not a bunch of inequality between men and women, or inequality between different men, between different women, or between men and between men and women. Hopefully, I'm explaining that well. So when you introduce inequality, that tends to change things, and human beings don't really do well with inequality. Certainly not in love, where we imagine love to be something that's purely equal, something that's given without respect for personal gain and for all these different things. We don't do well, as we saw, and we grappled with some of the problems that our uncomfortability watching In the Name of Love, the documentary about the wealthy men in the United States mail ordering Russian brides that were sometimes half their age. So this implies mutuality. That's the what de Monk uses in this article. The idea of mutuality that implies an equality of status and is an important factor for romantic love. But I would argue that it's not just an important factor for romantic love, but an important factor for community and all sorts of other different things. So we're going to talk more about that in the next lesson. So I just wanted to introduce that here, that gift giving and love have always been for thousands of hundreds of thousands, if not millions of years, an important part of love and finding a partner. Now, come on, there we go. Let's just summarize this a little bit. Talking about this article, when does culture matter when we're talking about love? How much does cultural variation influence love? So it does not matter in the sense that romantic love is a cultural universal. In fact, romantic love is an evolutionary requirement for Homo sapiens. So we evolved this chemical in our brain, this complex set of emotions that make us feel a hot, passionate, romantic love. We've also developed the chemicals in our brain that make us have lustful love and all these other things. And so it is evolutionarily advantageous for us to have these emotions, and they go back deep into our brains. The ways that the characteristics of romantic love are thought about and expressed, as well as how they are configured behavior, does vary from culture to culture, depending on culture, history, circumstance, individual, psychological predisposition, the way your parents might have been in love with each other as a model for you to observe. All of these things are really important, and so we can't say that love is a cultural universal in a sense, but at the same time, it is a biological necessity. So it's really interesting and difficult to tease apart what parts of our love and our emotions and our feelings are biological and what parts of that are culturally informed.